Hola, ¿qué tal? Pase.
When my mother died, I was 15 years old, and my immediate environment dissolved. My family life changed totally. We were 6 children. My smallest sister was 2 years old. My father immediately, a year later, married another woman. At the same time, the city changed a lot. Mexico City, the subway was inaugurated, an immense macropolis that contained millions of people. It became visible and audible, and the city changed. And I was a girl that grew up late, so it was my body that changed, my city that changed, and my immediate environment that had been totally broken. And I had no sense of myself or of what was around me, and I invented that I was a writer, and that gave me like my original bone. And around that idea that I was a writer, because of course it was only an idea, one trains oneself as a writer, one has to learn to write, but I thought I was a writer, and with that fantasy or that idea, I built a person around it. That's what I am. I am a writer.
Patria mía, algún día diamantina tartamudeas. Tartamudea cada día más viva a la manera de la llaga altiva y voraz. En tus rincones te comportas como una suripanta, vendes cada porción de ti para el gusto de otros, usas lentes oscuros, cantas con acordeón y tambores, te desgañitas, en tu lecho finges placer y sientes dolor. Y a veces tus cuerdas suenan sin estar envenenando a costa propia. Y a veces, patria mía, te ríes sin desgañites.
We are living an era where violence is not only being co-shared but adored. And it's been surrounded by a magnetism. This is universal. But in Mexico, it acquired a different path. Not only the Tarantino syndrome, to say so, or the delight of violence, but also the daily life tragedy of thousands and thousands of people. My own idea of what Mexico is not linked to that idea of violence. So it was like the place I grew up and the place I believe I belong to had suddenly changed the identity.
Where did you fall, Sleepless Homeland? Like the star in the story, like the drunk woman who crashed into a lamppost? Your flesh is denser, more austere, more solid, more real, can be compressed into a thimble or the embroidery on that blouse. No doubt you exist, no question, but where are you? Through the smoke of a war that sullies us all, in which no one but mercenaries participate, the bullets that fly have no conviction. They are on the payroll of the Fed, the state, some drug lord, rounds of bullets for hire. You are slipping away from us, homeland in flight.
In the case of La Patria Insomne, this poem, I was obsessively listening to the music created by the violence of the drug trade. It's a very popular music. It has its origins in the corrido, that's a traditional music, very simple. So instead of touching more my private silence, I was touching the music that's chanted publicly. to celebrate and to mourn the power of the drug trade. So I think it has a musical quality very different from my other poems. Poetry is always music, and poetry is always silence. And in this case, this poem is music and the noise of the pain of the people who are suffering this violence in Mexico. Your honeyed breath of rounds of bullets for hire, your breath of garlic and chocolate and chiles, your pestle and mortal breath of garlic and honey and chiles and pepper and cinnamon, your breath of sacrificial stone, of blood, of a heart still beating. So I think that when you are honestly trying to portray something that authentically you need to talk about, your reader is from any nation of the world. Because though luckily we are all totally different, what makes us be what we are is that we have the same quality of existence. We all breathe the same mystery. We have language, different languages luckily, and we dream we are eternal, but we are all going to die, and we have to live with that in all the cultures, in all the languages, and there's always something in that sense universal.
Ya mi tiempo está perdido, eres dueña de mis sueños.